All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going on a journey. We're going to build an e-commerce business from the ground up, from that first little spark of an idea to building out your digital shop and even locking in that first payment. We'll also take a peek at what's coming next for the whole world of online retail. So let's get into it.
So let's start with a little riddle. What do Uber, Airbnb, and Amazon all have in common? I mean, think about it. On the surface, they seem completely different, right? One's a taxi service, one's for finding a place to stay, and the other sells, well, pretty much everything on the planet. But deep down, they're all running on the exact same engine. And understanding that engine, that's the key to everything.
So, that brings us to the spark. What are we really talking about when we say e-commerce? It's a word we throw around all the time, but I promise you, its real definition is a lot bigger and frankly a lot more exciting than you might think.
And this right here helps answer that first question about Uber and Amazon. You see, Uber is kind of the new face of e-commerce. Amazon is what we traditionally think of, selling physical stuff, managing warehouses, the whole deal. But Uber? It sells a service. It's just a platform, a digital matchmaker connecting drivers and riders. It uses the same core technology as Amazon, but its business model is a whole different beast.
So if you want the official textbook definition, here it is. Digitally enabled commercial transactions. The keywords there are commercial transactions. That's the heart of it. Doesn't matter if you're buying a book, hailing a ride, or signing up for a streaming service. If money is changing hands and it's happening digitally, congratulations, that's e-commerce.
Now, it's also super important we don't mix up e-commerce with e-business. Think of it like an iceberg. E-commerce is the part you see above the water, the actual buying and selling. But e-business, that's the entire massive structure underneath the surface. We're talking about all the internal stuff like managing inventory or tracking customer data. E-commerce is just one piece of the bigger digital puzzle.
So why does any of this matter? Well, because the opportunity here is just massive. I mean, just look at South Korea. Between 2015 and 2022, the market grew by a mind-blowing 312%. It shot up from $43 billion to over $177 billion. This isn't some tiny niche. It's a global economic force.
Okay, so you see the potential, you're getting excited. What's the next step for any good entrepreneur? You need a plan. You need a blueprint for how you're going to get a piece of that pie.
Every great business starts with a powerful value proposition. This is the absolute core of your idea, and it boils down to answering one simple, brutal question. Why should anyone buy from you? What makes you special? Do you offer some crazy level of personalization? Or maybe you just make it way, way easier for people to find what they need. You have to figure out what makes you different.
And right after that, you need a revenue model. This is the let's get real part. How are you actually going to make money? Are you selling things directly? Is it a subscription model? Are you taking a small cut of every transaction? Or maybe you're doing an affiliate thing like Coupon Partners does, where you get paid to recommend other people's stuff. You have to have a crystal clear plan for how the cash is going to flow in.
Okay, plans locked in. Now it's time for the fun part. It's time to build. We're at the point where we actually have to create your digital storefront, the place where all your customers are going to hang out.
And that storefront, no matter how simple or complex, is built on 3 pillars of technology. You've got the internet, which is the network itself. Then there's the World Wide Web, the service that actually lets us see all the pages. And of course, there's the mobile platform, which has completely changed the game for everything. Now, as an entrepreneur, you're immediately faced with a huge choice. Do you build your own website from scratch? That gives you total control, but man, it's expensive and complicated. Or do you use a ready-made platform like Neighbor Smart Store? This gets you up and running way faster with a much lower cost and all the tools you need right out of the box. But no matter which path you take, the journey pretty much follows this 5-step roadmap. You start with planning, figuring out what you want to achieve. Then you design it, build it, and test the heck out of it to make sure nothing breaks. And finally, you launch it and start the ongoing process of keeping it running smoothly. This is how you turn an idea into a real working website. And you're live. Your digital store is open for business. But this is where a whole new set of challenges pops up. Now you have to think about managing money and, this is a big one, protecting your business and your customers from some of the very real dangers lurking online.
So how are people paying for things these days? Well, if you look at a market like South Korea, the answer couldn't be clearer. Digital wallets are king. I mean, sure, People still use credit cards, but platforms like KakaoPay and NeighborPay make up more than 80% of all transactions. You have to know how your customers want to pay.
But with all this digital cash flying around, there is a very big, very dark side. The global economic impact of cybercrime is estimated to be around $600 billion a year. That's not a typo. The stakes for getting security right are astronomically high.
And the threats come in all shapes and sizes. You've got ransomware that holds your business hostage, phishing emails that try to trick your employees, even malicious ads that can infect your systems, and of course, data breaches that can ruin your reputation overnight. Security can't just be an item on a checklist. It has to be a top priority.
And what do you do if you get hit with one of the worst threats out there? Ransomware. Just ask the University of Maastricht. They learned this lesson the hard way. The advice from every single expert is unanimous. Do not pay the ransom. Why? Because there's absolutely no guarantee the criminals will even give you your data back. Your only real defense is to be prepared before it happens.
So, we've built our store, we've secured it, and we're making sales. To finish up our journey today, let's look ahead. Let's see where this is all going. Because if there's one thing that's certain in e-commerce, it's that everything is always changing.
You know, e-commerce has really had three major eras. It started back in the 90s with the invention phase, simple websites, the dot-com boom and bust. Then came consolidation, when big businesses got serious. And now we are deep in the reinvention era, completely driven by our phones, social media, and on-demand everything. And believe me, this reinvention is not even close to being over.
So what's next on the horizon? We're seeing 4 huge trends really taking over. Mobile commerce is no longer a trend, it's the standard. Social commerce lets you buy things without ever leaving Instagram. Local e-commerce is connecting you to the shop down the street. And then you've got these incredible interactive formats like live streaming, creating entirely new ways to shop online. And that really brings us to our final thought. With things like virtual and augmented reality just getting started, the line between shopping in the real world and the digital one is getting blurrier every single day. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Will your next purchase be in the real world or a virtual one? Thanks for joining me.